privilege to be here with you in this arena. Don't you think this is an amazing arena? It's incredible. And this weekend, the information that we have to share with you, I think is going to be pretty life-changing. And by now you will have gathered that everything that we're going to train on is going to be sort of focused around the first steps to manager. So I would strongly recommend that you take notes, record, tap into your iPhones, your smartphones. But if we share with you one sentence, one good idea that makes a difference and helps you go on and achieve the things that are important to you, then this weekend has been highly, highly successful. When we look at the first steps to manager and we open it up, these are the first 2 pages that we see. And these first 2 pages are all about you, what you want, what excites you, what motivates you, basically why you're even here and have chosen Forever as the vehicle to allow you to achieve your goals and dreams. I find it really interesting that when we sit down with somebody and we look at these first 2 pages, and I see this a lot, is that most people have never ever set a goal in their lives. And I was one of those people. When I first joined Forever, some 20 years ago, I was only 6 when I joined, that's why I look so young now. Some 20 years ago, I never set any meaningful goals. And I think for a lot of people, you're in the same bracket. You know, we come out of school, we've had an education, we may go to university, or we may go straight into a career. And more often than not, we're part of somebody else's vision for their goals than we are about looking at our own. So for a lot of people, if we look at goal setting, looking at what we're prepared to work for, what we want, what we need, most people have never actually done that as a personal exercise. And I can say I was one of those people. I'd done goal setting or business planning within my career, but always for somebody else, always for something else. How many people in this room right now can relate to that? Never set real meaningful goals for themselves. Yeah, you see, we're more alike than different. So if you've never set a goal for yourself, that would lead on to the fact that most people don't know how. And that, again, for me was the case all those years ago. I heard about this goal-setting exercise, but I didn't know how. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know how to break it down. I didn't know how to look at the end result and break it down, then look at your daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly activities. I didn't know how to do any of that. And again, I think a lot of people, when they start out on this journey with Forever, they're massively excited. They're filled full of hope. But when it comes down to really detailing what they want and how they're going to get it, they struggle. And I can say that because I did. And then again, I think that when you look at goal setting, is most people don't know why. They don't know why they need to be setting goals. Isn't it interesting that most people will spend more time planning their annual holiday than they will planning the rest of their lives? Isn't that interesting? We did a little exercise many years ago in Milton Keynes, where we first started in Forever. And we actually went out onto the street. There was about 6 of us. And we did a little survey, and we stopped in about an hour as a group, over 100 people. And we asked those people, had they set a goal for themselves? Most people said no. We asked them, did they know where they wanted to be in the next 5 years' time? And there was only one person that had said yes. So the reason that we need to set goals, to know how to do them, to know how to start that process, is because every single one of us wants something in life that we have not yet got. We all do, otherwise probably you wouldn't be in the room today. We want something that we haven't yet got. And so the reason that we need to set the goal is to make a plan to take us from where we are today to where we want to be. And it's really interesting that the mind can only focus on a specific. It can't focus on a thought, a wish, a whim. The mind can only have clarity on something that becomes sharp, is written down, can become a visual image, because once you have committed your why to paper, to a dream board, to a visual image, it becomes in the mind a reality. So the reason that we need to set goals and to have clarity on what we want is so we can get focused. There's no point saying, I would like to have, I would like to do, I would like to become. It is about having clarity. I want to have, I will do the work, and I will become. And you fill in the gaps as to how that is relevant to you. So when we sit down with a brand new FBO, one of the first things that we need to realize is that most people have never done this exercise for themselves. And as we sit down with a brand new FBO and we start the process in the manual, we have to remember that it's about taking somebody on a journey. It's not just about saying, what do you want and when do you want it? It's about getting into a relationship with them. It's about asking the right questions. It's about getting them focused on short-term goals, long-term goals. And I always believe that if you get this part of the process right, the magic will begin to happen. But remember, not everybody knows on day one exactly what they want, exactly how to get it, and exactly why they want it. So when we sit down with a brand new FBO, the very first thing that I talk about after we've had some chit-chat and got to know each other a bit and caught up a bit, if you're working with dear friends or close family, that part's really easy. But if you're working with someone that you haven't yet got that relationship with, remember that the relationship part of building a business is equally as important as the practical side of putting together a plan. Because I always say in Forever, it's a way of life. It's not just a job. It's not something that we, start at 9 o'clock in the morning and clock off at 5 o'clock at night. It becomes a way of life. And so therefore, the journey that you will go on with your new FBO will be for a long time. It won't just be for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. As you take your new FBO on a journey through to manager, you will grow close. You will have fun together. You'll laugh together. You'll cry together. You'll plan together. It'll be fun. And then as they become more and more competent, more and more capable, the role changes a bit, whereby now you're more consulting on a greater level to help them have a bigger vision of what's important to them. But the most important thing that you need to identify, and the new FBO needs to identify inside themselves, is what are you prepared to work for? And there's one word there that I want you all to circle, to highlight, to write down, to underline, and that is the word work. What are you prepared to work for? Because in my experience, people don't put as much effort into building their business as they do sometimes to working for a boss. They don't have that same urgency, that same desire, that vision, if you like, to understand there's a price to pay for success. Sometimes we have to sacrifice short-term for the long-term gain. So I like to make it clear that this is a journey that we go on together, but it is about work. It's not about sitting and having endless planning meetings and then nothing happens. It is about the work. Once we've identified this is important, they have to go to work for, I think there's two parts of goal setting. There's what you need and there's what you want. And I think for everybody that joins the business on day one, they do have a very specific need goal. So for example, what you want could be, I want a new house in the country. But actually right now, I need £1,200 a month to pay off debt and pay the mortgage. So there is a big difference between what you need and what you want. And in the early days, one of the most important things we have to focus on is what people need. Because I truly believe that once we help people get their home sorted out, and what I mean by that is take off the pressure. In other words, the debt's handled. The income that needs to come in to keep the roof over the head is handled. Where people can breathe, then we can focus on what do I really want. And when we look at what you need, it's normally short term. I always say the need goal is 3 to 9 months. And this is where we really get down to the nitty-gritty of looking at what you need to do on a daily basis, committing to it, going to work. We plan it, we do it, we review it. We plan, we do, we review. When it comes to what do you want is the bigger picture. And this is normally over a 1 to 2 year period, the more short-term want. And then the more long-term want is the 2 to 5 years. We never look much beyond 5 years initially, because 5 years for most people seems like a lifetime away. So when we look at goal setting, short-term, what do I need? Longer-term, what do I want? And then long-term, what am I really prepared to work for? And what's fascinating when you sit with most people is the need goal is pretty similar for everybody. On average, day one, most people need an extra couple of thousand a month to allow them to breathe. And so therefore, I think it's really important to help people understand that that can be achieved by implementing the process in the right way. I think there needs to be a sense of urgency attached to the need goal, but everybody's journey is different. And as long as the FBO is enjoying the journey, stepping out of the comfort zone a little into the adventure zone, then they are focused on their journey, not comparing themselves to anybody else, not looking at what's going on the left or the right, but focusing on their journey, then success is inevitable if they're doing the activity every single day. There's no point making a plan and then committing to the plan and then 7 days down the line thinking, oh, this is a bit like hard work. Tell you what, I'll have a day off today. It doesn't work like that. It's putting the plan together and working it consistently until you achieve the goal that you're looking for. This part of the planning process is not a wish list. It's a work list. I'm going to come back to that word again, work. It's really important that you understand that Forever can give you anything you want, literally anything you want if you're prepared to work for it. In the 20 years that we've been Forever, I can promise you it's never let us down in any area. And every goal that we've set to achieve over a period of time, we've been able to achieve it. And the reason that's happened is because we've had a very clear plan. We've underpinned it with an incredible work ethic and a huge desire to achieve. So, what I want to do now, if I can, is maybe give you an idea of just how simple the process is when you're sitting with a brand new FBO. we asked some new FBOs if they would like to come and join me on the stage to do a live goal-setting session or an exploratory session as to what they want, what they need, what they're prepared to work for. And we asked new FBOs to submit a short 60-second video to the Home Office so we could pick someone who would come up on the stage with me. Head Office shortlisted it to 3 people and sent me those VTs, and I can assure you that there was no way that I could pick any of them. They were all amazing. So what I'm going to do for this example is ask all 3 of them to join me on the stage. I can only pick one, but I'm going to do it blindly just by choosing an envelope, and their name will be in it, then they'll stay on the stage with me. Please will you give a massive round of applause to very, very courageous new FBOs that have only been in the business a matter of weeks, but sent in the most incredible videos, which shows how serious they are about the business. Will you please welcome to the stage Lindsay, Carolyn, and Zena. I can't begin to tell you how impressed I was with every single video that came in, but these 3 really stood out. They were just incredible. They had real clarity on why they were doing Forever. They had a strong reason why they wanted to be on the stage with me. And as I said, I couldn't pick the person who I wanted to work with. So what we're going to do is we've got 3 envelopes. I have no idea what's in them. I have no idea who's who, but I'm just going to pick one, and you'll join me for the live session. So we'll just go with this one. Okay, let's have a look. Now, just to let you know, it is going to be Lindsay.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Thank you.
Now, because we think you're all amazing, you get something as well. Forever are going to invite you to the next Success Express weekend, all 3 of you. They're going to give you free tickets and overnight accommodation for sending in your VTs. So everybody's a winner. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much.
So you and me, how you doing?
Yeah, not too
Now
bad.
you and I are just going to go and have a little chat, and I just want you to just forget these few people here.
Okay.
There's just a few in the room. Just forget them. It's just you and me. So,
Okay.
Lindsay, let's you and I go and sit down over here. Lovely yellow chairs, aren't they? Okay. So, whenever we do a planning meeting and I'm sitting with a brand new FBO, I always make sure I've got with me a First Steps to Manager. They will have had their First Steps to Manager as well. I always have with me my notebook. And in my notebook, I have got every planning meeting that I do with new FBOs that I'm working with. I also will have my iPad, my diary. I'll have the success magazines, and I'll have a selection of literature. And we're up and running, and we're ready to get planning.
Okay.
So we are going to have a chat between us. Take no notice of we're not going to take any notice of you. It's just us right now. So, Lindsay, I'm really excited about you being involved in Forever.
Thanks.
And I know that we've only met each other a short while ago, but I remember that we had some communication on the phone.
Yeah.
And you went along to, we had a one-to-one, and you went along to the local BP and introduced you to so many people there, and I think you had a great evening, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And in the last few days since that BP, you've been watching some of the training videos that we've sent you.
Yeah.
And I know that right now is an exciting time for you to be starting your Forever journey.
It is, yeah.
It is. So just recap for me a bit about your background, what you do, and...
At the moment, I'm a senior occupational therapist working for a local council.
Yeah.
Previously, before that as well, I was a beauty therapist, and I'm a mum to a 12-year-old daughter named Millie.
12 years old?
12
Don't
years
look
old,
enough.
yes. So yeah, I've got a very busy lifestyle as well, so that's
Yeah.
my background.
And so what was it that you saw, why Forever? You've got a busy background, you've got a family, why Forever?
I just love the products.
Okay.
And that was the thing that really got me started with Forever, because I started using the products myself.
Yeah.
And then after that, when I went to the BP, some of the people that were there were absolutely amazing. And to walk into the room and see people all doing the same thing and still have the positivity within the room was just a fantastic,
Incredible.
really good. Really
I think the
enjoyed it.
BPs are a real big part of how we build our business, and I'm really glad you enjoyed your first one, because over the next few weeks and months, the BP is a real major part of the business building process. So imagine how your friends are going to feel when they come with you.
Yes, exactly. So I'm looking forward to taking them as well.
Brilliant, brilliant. Now, prior to this meeting, I asked you to do a little bit of homework for me. I asked you to give some thought to what it was that you wanted to achieve in Forever, based on your understanding at the moment. Because I know that you're, really brand new and haven't got kind of the bigger picture just yet, but on your understanding of the at the moment. And I also asked you to start thinking about some of the people that you wanted to share the business with.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do today, time is now 11:45. Now, normally when I'm doing a planning meeting, I'll always look at the time and I'll always say, time is now 11:45. In the next hour and a half, we'll have a chat. We'll be finished by about 1:30. Is that okay for you?
Yeah.
What I want to do is set the scene, so whereby we know how much time we've got and we know what we can do in that time. Because very often, depending on the amount of questions you get asked, on the kind of input that's going on, sometimes you only get halfway through doing a first planner, sometimes you finish the whole lot. But what we're going to focus on today is what it is that you really want to achieve in the business. When I first started working with Forever, I was asked what it was that I wanted to achieve. And I have to be honest with you, I'd had some goals and dreams, but I guess like so many people, I'd kind of almost put them on the shelf because I looked at my job, my career at the time, and I thought, I'm never going to live the life I want based on the income I've got from a job. So I kind of shelved some of my goals and dreams, and it wasn't until I got involved in Forever that I realized that this was a vehicle that could really help me achieve my goals. And what I want you to do today is begin to think bigger, to think outside the box, and have real confidence that this vehicle is going to allow you to achieve everything that's important.
Okay.
So when we first look at the process of developing our goals, we look in three areas. We look at our personal goals, and this is what you as a woman want. Now, I know you're a mummy, and I think sometimes it's really difficult when we're mums because we always put our families first. But one of the things I've learned over the years is that you have to be able to reward yourself as well as your family for the work that you put in. And very often it's our own personal goal that motivates us to achieve positions on the plan, to achieve the incentives. So we're going to look at your own personal goals, short term and long term. Then we're going to look at what you want for the family and short term. And then we're going to have a look at some of the business goals that underpin your personal and family goals. And all of these areas work together to help you have real clarity on where you want to go in the business. Now, when I'm working with a brand new person, I have my notebook here. I'll always put their name in my notebook, the date of the planning meeting, and everything that goes into her planning manual will go into my notebook. So I've always got a record of what it is that we're working towards and the first part of the structure that we're putting into place. So let's have a look at what you want personally. Now, very often when you're working with a new FBO, they will bring this partly filled in. So you've got something to begin to work on. There is something filled in, but sometimes there's nothing. And sometimes when you sit down with a brand new FBO and there's nothing, occasionally the sponsor looks at it and there's nothing there and can get a bit irritated. And I would advise you not to do that. If somebody comes to you and they haven't yet started filling this in, it's maybe because they were like I was when I first started. I didn't know how. I didn't truly understand why. Someone had told me to start writing down my goals, but I couldn't seem to get it from here onto paper. So don't worry too much if they come with nothing. Don't let that be an irritant. All you need to do is start asking questions and start populating, filling in the brochure with things that are important to them. So let's have a look at what we, is it L-I-N-D?
L-I-N-S-E-Y.
C-Y?
S-E-Y. Sorry, it's my accent.
Okay.
I hope you can all understand
Your
what
accent,
I'm saying.
my spelling, we're doing well together, aren't we? Okay, so what I would do here now is I will have started asking Lindsay what it is that really inspires her from a personal point of view. There is no right or wrong answer. It's really what's in your heart. It's what's in your vision. So, you know, short term, in the next, I would say, we're halfway through the year. Let's have a look at what you need by the end of the year.
Yep.
And let's have a look at more of a short-term goal, maybe 2017. So if we look at the rest of this year as what you need,
Yep.
and then up to 2017 to what, you know, what you really want to happen. So what is it that really motivates you? What inspires you? What gets you up early in the morning, keeps
My
you up late
daughter.
at night? Your daughter?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. And
Okay.
yeah, I think what inspires me the most is just to make sure that I'm up as a mum as well, really, so she can see me achieving what I
Okay.
want to achieve. So that gets me up early every morning.
So that's a big motivator for you.
It is, yeah.
Building something for yourself where your daughter can be proud of what you've achieved.
Yeah.
So you really want to lead by example.
Yes.
So how would you quantify that as a short-term goal? How would you vocalize that? How would you write that down to make your daughter proud of you?
Oh my God, I find this really difficult, actually.
It's okay. Now, this is classic. I know she's sitting in front of 5,000 people, and that's a bit nerve-wracking. But you'll be amazed at how many new FBOs have got something in their heart, in their bodies, and they really want to bring it out, but they don't know how to vocalize it. And it's our job to gently coax them and chat with them and make them feel comfortable and calm that what they want is exciting and is motivating. I'm sitting next to Lindsay, she's shaking like a leaf, but I can feel that this is a passionate goal for her, something that you are inspired by.
Yeah.
So you want to build a business that your daughter can, you want your daughter to be proud of you.
I do, yeah. And
Okay.
actually, I want to be proud of myself as well, because
Okay. So you want to build a business where your daughter can be proud of you. Is that and that's something really important?
Yeah.
So your understanding right now of what you've seen as far as Forever's concerned, where would you see yourself, what would you see yourself achieving where you could say, now I'm proud, I've achieved something, I am somebody?
I think my first step is I want to get to manager.
You
That
want
would
to
be
get
my
to
first
manager.
step within the business, yeah.
Okay, so should we put that there? I think it might be a good idea to write that in there, that a short-term goal is that you want to become a manager. And I write as much as possible in my book. Okay? So short term, you want to be a manager.
Yeah.
And that is a personal goal for you, because that being a manager links in with the fact that you want to build something that you and your daughter can be proud of. So if you put that there, business to be proud of. Okay? Now, what else is important to you personally?
I think my confidence a little bit more as well, because people would say that I'm quite confident and I talk a lot, but that hides my confidence really. So I think within this business it will allow me to have that confidence.
So you're looking for personal development then?
Yes,
that's
most
important
definitely.
to you?
Yeah.
Okay. And that you've obviously recognised that as being a big part of what we do. Okay, so we put down personal development. And so will you. Doing well. It's important it goes into both of our manuals if she hasn't yet started filling it in, because these are things that are going to become very, very important when we start making the plan for manager. Okay.
Yep.
What other personal goals are important to you?
God, Jane, I really don't know what to say.
You don't know? Okay. Is there something that you enjoy doing with your daughter? Do you have?
Yeah, my daughter's a gymnast, so
Okay.
that makes me really proud, because she works really hard at the moment and just competed in a national competition.
Wow.
And she's got through that. So
So you have to spend time travelling with her
I
and
do, yeah.
taking her to the events, and obviously the cost implications to that as well, I
Yes.
guess.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's a real biggie. So actually this business will help me fund that as well, because I've got quite a good job full time,
Yeah.
but obviously
So how will you balance the time of the job actually being there for your daughter and forever? Is it that you eventually want forever to be the main income provider, so you've got the time freedom to be with your daughter while she's doing her gymnasts?
Yeah.
Is that something that's really important to you?
It is, yeah, because then I can build more of a family as well, because I haven't got the time. It doesn't make me think that I want any more children, because I don't want anybody else to have my children.
So time is really important to you.
It is, yeah.
So I think we should write that down, shouldn't we? So time. And what I do here now is I'm looking at what time means to Lindsay, because time means different things to different people. So Lindsay, if you had more time, and time is important to you, let's say that you didn't have to go into a job and you had more time, what would your life look like? What would you be doing?
Spend more time with friends and family.
So friends and family, that's important.
Do you want me to write this down as well?
Yeah. Now, this is really actually a very valid point, because if I'm with a brand new FBO and we're actually doing a planning, and she says, shall I write this down? The answer is yes, because this is the starting point to taking a written goal and turning it into a visual dream board, a visual mission statement, something you're going to look at every day that will keep you completely focused.
Yeah.
Okay? Is there anything else that really inspires you right now personally?
I'd probably say, without thinking that I'm trying to suck up to you, but you was the other person you was the other person as well that inspired me as a businesswoman to be out there, and actually as a woman to think that you've done so well in this business, looking at your background and the way that you present yourself was something that was quite inspirational to me. So
you want to be a role model, thank you. So you want to be a role model for other women?
I do, yeah.
That's a fantastic goal. So when you've got the time on your hands, in this area now where we're freeing up time, that you have choices, you want to be a role model to other women. Yeah?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would do with your time when it's yours and you haven't got to answer to anybody else?
I think I'd travel a little bit more as well.
Okay. Travel. Okay, so what we've got is kind of a short term, the next 6 to 18 months of things that inspire Lindsay. And I mean, obviously I would be doing a bit more on this, but we're a bit limited on time. But we've now got a bit of a vision as to what she's about from a personal point of view. She's a mum. She wants to build a business that her daughter can be proud of her and she can be proud of. She wants to be out of the day job so she can have more time with her friends and her family, to devote to her daughter with her gymnasts, to be a role model, and to travel more. So we've begun to connect with things that are really, really important. Then what we do is we look at the more long-term goal, but rather than focus on that just now, because I don't see the thing with how much time we've got left on, but rather than focus on that just now, we're just going over to family goals.
Yep.
So right now, in the short term, in the next 6 to 18 months, what do you want for your family? What are you prepared to work hard for your family?
To pay a mortgage.
To pay the mortgage, okay. So now we've got the family goals, and we're looking to pay the mortgage. Now, is that to pay it off or just to pay it comfortably every single month?
Pay it comfortably every single month.
Without having to worry about it whatsoever?
Yeah.
Now, you can just make a figure up. I don't need your personal details here.
Yeah.
But at this stage, I would say, and what would make a difference, what would really help to pay the mortgage without having to think about it and take that worry away from you financially? How much would that be a month? You don't have to tell me, just make a figure up. I don't
£500.
£500. So what I would do is I would put a monetary amount there, £500. And I was saying, what else is really important to you for your family goals? So if we were to monetize that, how much would you like to be giving your mum a month?
£250.
£250 a month. That's amazing. Good for you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
For me and my family. It's quite difficult as well to actually write it down on paper. And actually, if I was talking in general, I could say what I want.
Say it then. Just say it. Say what's in your heart. What's important to you?
I want to get married.
She wants to get married. Does he know?
He does now, but he said I'm too much like hard work to marry me at the moment.
Okay. Let's just see what he says in 18 months' time when you're earning 3-4 times he's earning.
Yeah.
Let's see if he says the same thing then. To get married.
Yeah.
Now, at this stage, we haven't got time to do it right now, but at this stage, I would actually really engage in what kind of wedding you would want, where you would want to be married, you know, and I would really get some emotional connection to that. Because when you get the emotional connection, and often I hear people say, oh, I had a great planning meeting, I made somebody cry. And I think that's not what a planning meeting is like, that's not what a goal-setting session is like. It is more about just having a connection and allowing someone to catch the vision of that all they want is possible with forever. It's to take them from feeling that it's not possible to feeling that everything is possible, to allowing them to dream again as they did when they were children, unhindered. And so it's not about let's make somebody cry, but it is about getting into the emotion of what's important to them. And actually, there's nothing wrong if someone does get that emotional. But don't think you've had a great meeting just because somebody's had a good old weep. It doesn't work like that. Okay, so you want to get married.
Yeah.
I would have gone into a lot more detail about that.
Okay.
Anything else right now that is important for your family, you and your family?
I'd probably say again to actually travel, because my daughter wants to go to Australia and that's her long-term goal, to live in Australia, so I'd like to take her there as well to see.
So you'd like to go to Australia?
Yeah.
And have you worked out how much it would be to go to Australia?
Not yet, no.
Not yet,
no.
okay. Part of the process of goal setting is once that you've committed your dreams and your ideas and your vision to paper, is that you then begin to start investigating the costs associated with the things that you want. Mm-hmm. Because when we get down, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, as we begin to work together, as we begin to break this down into fine detail, we can begin to really look at the activity that you need to be doing. But I would suggest a family holiday to Australia for 3 weeks is going to be about £10,000-15,000.
Yeah.
Probably off the top of my head. So I would just write that in there. I put £10,000. Okay, so these are short-term goals, and as you can probably gather, I would spend a bit more time going into the fine detail to really connect Lindsay to the goal. And then I would say, okay, let's have a look at the business goals. Now, I know that you've had a one-on-one with me. I know that you watched a video. I know that you went to the BP. I know that you and I have had a couple of phone calls. Your understanding of the business to date, what do you see in the marketing model, in the incentive package that really inspires you?
I think to help other people as well, because when I very first had my daughter, I was a single parent. So to think that I'll be able to help somebody else out and give them the vision as well to help themselves and their families, something that's really important.
So you see the business building part of developing a business as being able to contribute back to others?
Yes.
Okay, so you want to basically then grow a team?
Yeah.
That's important to you.
Important,
and develop leaders?
Yeah.
So you want to be a manager. Now, you've probably noticed at this part of the planning, I've become a little bit more directional with her. She said, I want to help others, which means you want to build a team, which means you want to develop managers. This is where you can lead them a little bit because they don't have the understanding that you have of how the marketing model works. So I would actually say to her, to help other people, you need to be able to share the opportunity, to sponsor people, and to help them become a manager. And in enable you to do that, you need to become a manager yourself.
Yep.
And that's what this is all leading up to prepare you for that journey to manager.
Yep.
So we would focus on the manager. We would talk about the fact that she likes helping others. Is there anything else so far in the business model that you've seen to date that really excites you?
I think that it's just an uncapped business as well, isn't it? You can just keep growing and growing.
Of course, totally uncapped. Whatever you're prepared to work for, you can have. How much would you like to be making a month?
Oh my God.
Short term, maybe short term, next 6 to 18 months, how much would you like to be making?
Probably about 2,500.
Okay, so first goal is £2,500.
Yeah.
Yeah? Were you inspired by the fact that you could travel with the company?
Oh God, yeah.
Because if you look at here, travel is quite a big goal for you.
Yeah.
So you're quite inspired to build a business that will allow you to travel?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And what about driving a new car?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Definitely?
Yes.
And if you were to drive a new car, what would it be?
Probably an Audi.
An Audi girl?
Yeah.
So you'd like a new Audi. So, do you know what kind of Audi you want?
Whatever's the latest model that's out
The
there,
latest
I'd
model.
buy.
Any colour?
White.
White.
Yeah.
The white latest model. That'll do. So all a good start. Now, I would now spend a bit of time looking at the more long-term goal. I would just say, Lindsay, your goals are incredible. I can see that these are heartfelt for you. I'm sitting very close to Lindsay. I'm feeling it. I'm seeing the energy flow through her. I can see that she's connecting to it. And I can see and feel it's important to her. And what I'm going to do is reassure her that by you and I working closely together and you following the process that we're going to plan together, I can promise you. Your journey. It's not about anybody else, it's about you and what's important to you.
Yep.
Long term, what do you see Forever giving you in the next 2 to 5 years?
I think the extra money, because I've always wanted to open up like a rehab centre for families with children with limited lives.
Okay.
So that families can go there and spend some time with their
So
children.
that's a long-term
That's
goal.
a real long-term
Yeah,
goal.
but you've had this vision for a while, obviously.
Yes, I have.
Okay, so what I would do here, in the long term, is I would ask her to write down that she wants to open up a rehab centre for children. But I'm not going to go into masses of detail about that right now, because remember about the need goal. In my experience, when people can tick the need goal, and they've achieved it, they have total confidence in the fact they can achieve the long-term goal. But sometimes the long-term goals, the big goals, the second homes, the rehab centre, to have, 100,000 in the bank, and all the things that are long-term, sometimes people want them, but they doubt their ability to achieve them. And what I've noticed is if you tick off the short-term goals, the belief in the long-term ones come. And that's a 12-month process. Every win they have, every win a brand new FBO has, whether it's their first order, whether it be their first month at 4CCs, whether it be your first promotion, whether it be your first recruit that you did all by yourself, all those small achievements build the confidence that they can get to the things that are really important to them long term. So if you write in there that you want the rehab centre for the children, so long term goals then go into my book. And at all times that I'm planning, that I'm going through the goals and identifying with Lindsay what's important, I'm showing great interest in it. I'm also empowering her to believe that she can achieve these goals by reassuring her that they're fantastic, by reassuring her that she's great, by reassuring her that I've already done it myself so I can take you on the journey. And together, I talk about we together. It's not about me in isolation, it's about me in the way that I can help her. But I'm also going to make it quite clear that I'm there to help her, but I'm not there to do it for her. And I think a lot of people fall into the trap of assuming the sponsor is going to do it for them. I don't teach you anything if I do it for you. But if I teach you everything, I can do it with you. Mm-hmm. And that's the way it works.
Yeah.
Yeah? So, long term for the family. Obviously, you want to move to Australia.
Yeah.
That's a big goal.
It is, yeah.
Exciting goal. Look at the way she's opened up. Sits in her chair, opened up. Why Australia?
I think there's just massive opportunities out there for myself and my family, especially with my daughter's gymnastics.
Okay. And when do you want to go to Australia?
When?
Yeah.
Within the next 5 to 7 years.
Okay, now, what's really interesting is this is a big goal, but there's no deadline on it. When I asked the question, she went, don't know, maybe the next 5 to 10 years. And this is very typical of a long-term goal, because remember what I said at the very beginning, they don't know how, they don't know why, they've never done it before, so therefore, even though this is a long-term goal, 100% belief is not yet there because you haven't achieved the smaller goals.
Yep.
Once these smaller goals are achieved, you will be well and truly focused on these long-term goals. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Long-term goal in forever, from a business point of view?
Possibly to be soaring manager as well.
Okay. Now, again, hesitation there. Did you notice that? Possibly, maybe, to be soaring manager. So what I would say is, that's a phenomenal goal, and I can absolutely see you as being a fantastic soaring manager. And I would link that goal back to one of her goals, where she says she wants to be a role model to help other people. So I'm bringing it back to a more short-term personal goal, so she can start really believing that she can be a soaring manager. Now, as I say, when it's just the two of us in a room together, there would be other questions I would have asked. But what you can see by doing this exercise is that we've begun to build a picture of what's important in your life.
Yeah.
And it's a phenomenal picture. It's exciting. I'm excited for you.
Thanks.
And I really believe that this is something that by learning the process that you can achieve. I believe that everything is possible for you. Everything.
Yeah.
What we need to do now is make sure that we get you learning the very simple components that you need to learn to make this a reality. Now, you've given me lots and lots of goals here. They're all phenomenal. But if I said to you right now, what is the most important goal for you? What has to happen in the next 6 to 18 months? What is the most important goal right here?
I think time.
Okay, so right now, the time is the most important goal.
Yep.
Okay, and this one here is really, really important to you. To enable you to leave your job, to be able to have the time with your family,
Yep.
to be able to travel with your daughter and support her with her gymnastics, to be able to spend time with your family, to be able to be that role model to others. Can you give me some idea of what we would have to develop by way of an income to give you that freedom?
I'd say roughly around about £3,000 a month.
Okay, so we're looking at building a business of around about, and I would actually write this into her book now, we're looking to build a business at around £3,000 a month income. Okay. Now, in order to make £3,000 a month, our first stepping stone is this here, is to get to manager.
Yeah.
That's absolutely vital that we start that process. Okay, because once we achieve the manager position and we look for your first 2 managers to come up behind you,
Yeah.
then we will be well and truly on the way to making that £3,000 a month.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So this goal then is the most important one
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
This is the goal that you're prepared to go to work with me.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
To do whatever it takes. To get up early in the morning.
Yeah.
Stay up late at night. To sacrifice.
Yeah.
You're going to have to turn off the telly. You're going to have to maybe stop doing some of the things short term in order to achieve this goal and have the life that you want long term.
Yeah.
When I started building my business, I turned off the television. I stopped reading the newspapers. That was no big deal anyway. I said no to some of my personal engagements, and I was committed to work really hard for 6 months to put the infrastructure in place.
Yeah.
And I did that, and it never ever failed me. And what I'd really like to do is help you do the same thing.
Yeah.
So right now, in order to get to that £3,000 a month, roughly how many hours a week will you be able to commit to your business, roughly? Knowing that it'll change.
Probably around about 25 hours.
25 hours a week, that's amazing. Okay, so in 25 hours a week, over the next 6 to 18 months, we're going to build you a business that's going to bring in that income, which is going to allow you to leave the job Be at home with the children.
Yeah.
That excites you, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
To be at home with the children and to live a free life. And that's really important to you.
Very important.
Now, have you noticed I've asked her that question twice? And the reason I've asked her that is because I want her to tell me it's important. Because when they tell you it's important, when they say yes, they are effectively internalizing that decision and they're ready to go to work. So what I say at this stage is I say, I can see it's important to you. And I'm really excited about your goals. And I really believe that you're going to be able to achieve that. So if I'm hearing you right, you're prepared to work very hard with me to learn what you need to learn, to put the infrastructure in place, to build a manager business as quickly but as correctly as possible in order to work towards this process of 3,000 a month.
Yeah.
I'm
prepared.
You're prepared.
I'm prepared.
Right. I think that we need to go to work then.
Okay.
So the next stage thing that we need to do, and what I would do now is I would go into the marketing model and I would share the marketing model with her. I would break it down schematically so she could see what it looked like to actually build a manager business. And then we would go through the CCs, which are from retailing and from team building, which is what you're now going to see throughout the rest of the weekend, exactly how we take our brand new FBO who's excited, committed, feels it, believes it, has a trust in me that I will take her to where she wants to go. She is now ready and open to saying, let's go to work. So I'm really excited for you. Whoever sponsored you, they're very lucky because you're an amazing young woman.
Thank you.
And I believe in your ability to achieve these goals.
Thanks.
And I think that Forever is richer for having you as part of it. And I think that you're going to make a big difference in your family's life.
Thank
so
you.
I won't say good luck, but I will say massive success in all you do. And let's get to work.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. So, please give Lindsay a massive round of applause for sitting there and doing that with me. She was brilliant. And I have a feeling that we're going to see her on the stage very quickly as a manager and then a soaring manager. Thank you very much. Remember, when you're sitting down with people, it's all about building a trust, building a relationship, asking questions, getting people believing in the things that are important to them. It's not about what's important to you, it's about what's important to them. Understand that sometimes, because of past experiences, past challenges, that sometimes they want something but they're scared to commit to it. I was like that. I had a particularly difficult time in my life prior to Forever. And all of my self-confidence had gone. All of my belief in my own ability had gone. And so therefore, whilst I saw Forever as being the most incredible opportunity, I didn't have a lot of belief in myself. And it wasn't until somebody else started believing in me that I started believing in me. And it wasn't until I had that emotional connection to something that was so important to me that I was prepared to do whatever it took that I went to work. And my two emotional connection goals in the early days were very simple. I wanted to educate my children privately, and I would do anything to make that happen. It's no accident that within literally less than 1 year of joining Forever, both my boys went to top public schools in the UK. I had a deep down emotional connection to it. And my other emotional connection was to earn more in a month than my ex-husband earned in a year. That was very sweet. Remember that when we sit down with a brand new FBO, they're excited, they're inspired. You heard what Lindsay said. She went to a BP and she was totally inspired by the energy, by the stories, by the people, by the example she was seeing. This is such an incredible opportunity. And we have it in the palms of our hands to change people's lives. And this process of sitting down and identifying what's important to somebody is the beginning of their journey. We need to take them on that journey to allow them to go from being dependent on you, where they know nothing, and it's up to us to show them the 8 simple steps they need to learn to be successful. Then they become what we call interdependent, where they can do a bit of it, but not all of it. And our job is to quietly and confidently coach them to become independent. And that's what we want. We want to build independent, freestanding manager businesses to give people freedom and choices and lifestyles that they never dreamt was possible. When the why is clear, the how becomes easy. If you don't know why you're doing this, if you don't know why you are learning new skills, applying new processes, I promise you it'll be really easy to quit when someone says no. Because I'm going to tell you now, there's going to be people say no. There's going to be people laugh at you. There's going to be people tell you you're crazy, you're mad, it will never work, it will never happen. And if that hasn't happened to you, it's happened to me a whole load. Someone just last week said no to me. I went, really? I said, do you not know who you're saying no to? No, I didn't. But, you know, I think a lot of people need to identify with what's important in life. And I want to just say to you that forever is a way of life. It's not a job. Yeah, we call ourselves professional networkers, but it's not, you know, you're not at work. It becomes a way of life. It becomes who you are. And in closing, I want to share an incredible little story with you that I just heard at the back of the stage. I was talking to a lovely lady called Yvonne, and she was telling me about how she's just bought her husband a new car. And her husband said to her when they got married many years ago, one day when I retire, I want a Bentley. One day when I retire, I want a Bentley. That's a sad statement in many ways, and an exciting statement in other ways. First of all, it's exciting because you want it, but why wait till you retire when you're too knackered to enjoy it? It's true, isn't it? And most people in a job, they want these things, but they never get to the promised land. Anyway, that was his dream ever since they first got married. They had conventional jobs, and he talked about this Bentley a lot. Then they found Forever. And they joined, and they did well. Senior managers on the car plan quite quickly in Forever. And over the last 10, 12 years, Yvonne has been putting their car plan money into a private account, saving it. Because you know what she wanted to do? She wanted to buy him the Bentley. Anyway, recently he decided he didn't want a Bentley anymore. He wanted a bright red Mustang. He had no idea that Yvonne was putting that money aside every single month for the last 10, 12 years. He had no idea. So he went along to the garage and he got in his Mustang and he thought it was amazing. But in his heart of hearts, I'm sure he didn't really think that he could have it. Anyway, when she inquired about getting one of these, they told her there was at least an 18-month waiting list, so he kind of didn't believe it was ever going to happen anyway. Then a few months ago, she went to the garage and spoke to the assistant who said, yeah, we've just had a sale fall through, and you can have it if you want. She said, brilliant. What color is it? Red. Brilliant. That's what he wants. And the sales assistant said, we need to sort out your finance. She said, okay. He said, we need a deposit. She said, okay, I'll just get my card and I'll pay the deposit. And the sales assistant was, really? Paid the deposit there and then. He said, right, how are we going to sort out the finance for the rest of the car? Because, until we sort that out, you can't have it. She said, oh, I'll just pay cash. And he went, really? She went, yeah. Now, her husband knew nothing of this. So she sorted out the car, bought the car in red, had it in the showroom, all covered up. A few days later, took her husband to the showroom, and the red car was gone. And he was mortified because he just wanted to look at it. And she said, come with me, I want to show you something. And they walked round to that part of the garage, when you've bought a new car, when you bought it, they cover it up and it says sold. And you always think, oh, I wonder which lucky person's got that. And he went round there, and the sales assistant pulled off the cover, and there was this new red Mustang. And Kevin said, one day. And Yvonne said, that one day is today. Here's the keys, it's yours. I get emotional just thinking about it. But it was a brilliant, I love that story. I love the fact that it started when they were first married. And it's been there all these years. And the fact that she knew it was important and made a plan. And eventually the plan materialized. They learned the how, so the why could become a reality. But I hope Yvonne won't mind me saying this, because I want to really emphasize this in the close now. She said, it was so exciting to be able to do that for him, Jayne. And I know we've not been the fastest people in forever. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. She said, we've been in the business all this time, we're just senior managers. I said, no. I said, your lifestyle is a lifestyle that 99% of people out there in the real world want. You're not just a senior manager. This business has become your way of life. You travel the world. You've been to the North Pole. You've seen the polar bears. You've just come back from Africa on safari. You have a free life. You have no money worries. You've just bought your husband a car, cash. I would say you've had an incredible journey with Forever. So my point is, every single one of you in this room is on a journey, and it's your journey, and it becomes your way of life. And the race that you have is with yourself. Don't compare yourself to other people. Don't look at other people and say, they're doing it quicker than me, I must be a failure. That is not the case. As long as you are touching your business every day, true to your plan, true to your goals, I promise you, Forever will deliver. I'm testimony to that after 20 years in the business. This is an incredible company. It's your company. Be proud of it. Share and spread the word with hundreds. Help them, and everything you want will come to be. Thank you very much.